Hi everybody, Timothy Holt with Holt's Custom Countertops and Creations. This is a large round table. It's 45 inches in diameter, and I'm getting a protective clear coat on the top. So client has ordered it. I'm hoping to ship it out in about 1 to 2 weeks. So I need to get this on there. Now, what I like to do before I pour out my clear coat is do a tape dam. Using either masking tape, the white stuff there, or this blue painter's tape, whichever one I have readily available. Currently have both, so I'm going to use blue because it's thicker first, wider. I just want to go around the edge with it. All right, let the fun begin. This particular table needs approximately 44 ounces of epoxy, of resin. I didn't have a mixing bucket big enough to do 44 ounces at one time. So I have 48 ounces mixed here of part A and part B. It's not 24 part A, 24 part B. It's already mixed. I didn't think you would want to watch me for 4 to 5 minutes with a paddle mixer just mixing it. So, it's already mixed. I am on the clock. What I like to do with a project like this is mix it up first. So, some of those air bubbles can come out. Then put on my tape dam. This just allows for a little more air bubble mitigation. Okay. My gloved hand on. Get rid of my paddle mixer and my drill. I don't want to get any resin on that. So, since I did mix it up as 2 batches, you can see here a lot of air bubbles. Okay. So one thing I can do is I could hit that with air bubbles, just get those air bubbles off. I'm not going to, because you'll see what I do with a heat gun and my gloved hand in a minute. But I want these to be thoroughly mixed, not only in the bucket, but on the surface. So I'm just going to take my stir stick and just scrape my edges real quick, several times, get that bottom scraped, just to make sure that this is in fact fully mixed. I want to do that with both of them, but I also want all of this on the surface. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of pour this one out like so. While I do this one, same thing. I want it to last for years to come. So this one, I'm just gonna kind of pour it and do the same thing with it. Okay. Now, if you notice, I tipped over my bucket. That's because there's resin in there, and if I keep scraping that bucket, I might put gouges or grooves in the bucket itself, and then I can't reuse my buckets. That makes more cost for my customers. More cost for me, more cost for my customers. Okay, so you can already probably see in the video that this clear coat adds that nice gloss look. Okay, so see, all of that resin would have been still in this bucket if I had just done this, right? If I had just done this, which I've seen many people, especially on YouTube, do with their buckets, I've even done it, but if I just do that, all of that stays in my bucket. Now my bucket is pretty empty, okay? By the way, if you want to know how I make the lamps that I sell, it's tipping these upside down after they've been mixed and just letting it drip into a 2-liter bottle, empty 2-liter bottle, until that bottle is full. Put it on the lathe, get it all mixed up. So that one's good to go. And what about that one? See? Just quickly, you see how well that's poured out. Good. That's poured out very nicely. So I'm going to go get rid of these buckets so they're out of my way. All right, so now it's time for the fun. I usually describe this process as finger painting for adults when I'm dealing with the color, because I definitely get epoxy resin on my hands, okay? Because we want to make sure that this is not just thoroughly mixed in those buckets. We want it thoroughly mixed on our surface. So we have our stir stick here we can use, all right, to help move things around, but we also have a gloved hand. So the key with using the gloved hand is always have one hand that's clean, one hand that's dirty. So I don't really need my stir stick anymore, so I'm actually going to clean that off with my gloved hand and get it out of our way. Now I have seen people use a 1/8" square notch trowel to do this, which gives a good even coat, but typically that works well if you're using 3 ounces per square foot. I prefer using 4 ounces per square foot just to give me a little extra insurance that I have good coverage. This is a self-leveling product, as you can see, so I just simply want to move it around and make sure everything is nice and wet. And you can definitely tell when there is color how much fun this can be. So I want to go right up against that tape dam as well, just moving it around. Wherever there's a dry spot. But if you notice, I do have a glove on my left hand, but I'm not getting resin on it. It is a security measure, because once this resin gets on something, it tends to want to stay on it. So I'm using this just as a security measure here. We want to kind of mix all that around. And I am adding a little bit of pressure with my hand just to help mix it up. And if you notice, I'm also coming back to where I've already went, just to move it around, because I, again, want a nice, clean, even surface, but I want it well mixed. If it is not well mixed, it will be very noticeable and could potentially ruin the entire project. So I should also point out, before I'm mixing, I did take a leveler and make sure that this was level. That's the other key. If it is unlevel in any way, this resin, as you can see, just pours off until it starts thickening up. So if it's unlevel, it's going to pool on one side, and then when I remove the tape dam, it's just going to pour off of that side. Okay? Do not want that, obviously. Okay? So make sure the table is level before beginning. But you can see I'm just moving it around, making sure everything gets coated. Make sure it's all wet. And then the fun with the heat gun happens. Okay? So this hand is clean as well. But now this hand is the only one with a glove on. So it will be the one that I will get any like hair out of, or if I see like there's surface tension in a dry spot I missed, I can use this hand for it without getting it on my heat gun. Now you will see online people use a torch to do this, and a torch works really well. However, with a torch you have to move very quickly. I find that the heat gun is much more forgiving than the torch. The downside is it doesn't work as fast. So want to hit it with the heat gun here a couple of times. First time is to get all the big air bubbles. And I don't know if you can see it. See the air bubbles just pop. It's so satisfying watching it. But want to move that heat gun around. Get all the air bubbles. There we go. Anywhere where there's surface tension, we want to dab with the finger. That's why I still have my gloved hand. So my right hand now is clean with no glove on it. And my left hand becomes the dirty hand with the glove. Because I don't want resin on my tools. So we want to hit this. And I'm going to do this 3, 4, maybe 5 times. Okay? Over about an hour long period. Let me know your thoughts on this particular piece. While we're waiting for those air bubbles to pop, we've got about 5-10 minutes, okay? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you think of this table, this table right here. Do you like the blue earth vein here with the white and the copper? Do you like the black? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? A round table is a very distinctive table. Maybe you would rather have a rectangle, a traditional rectangle. Let me know your thoughts. Good, bad, ugly, and different, all of them. Also, if you like this content and you want more of it, hit that thumbs up button, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe. YouTube has that whole bell thing to get notifications. Subscribe to the channel, notifications, all that stuff. I do produce both long form and short form video. So let me know your thoughts, okay? The more interaction and feedback, the better I can produce these videos for you. So these tables are made to order, by the way. You can order tables on Etsy, Holt's Custom Countertops and Creations on Etsy. Link will be in the description. You can also find me on Facebook and obviously YouTube. TikTok, I have some videos out on TikTok as well. That's fairly new for me, so I'm still getting used to that. You can find some of the creation stuff, the soap dishes, keychains, that kind of thing, on the TikTok shop. I don't think I have any tables on there yet, but let me know what your thoughts are. So now it's been a few minutes, so I can see with the light shining, reflecting, that we still have air bubbles. So I'm going to go ahead, hit the whole surface again. So let me know what you think on this. I'm going to let this sit now. I'm going to come back in probably about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and remove my tape dam. And the dripping is just so satisfying. Okay, if I do it right now, because it's a self-leveling surface, even though the entire surface is level when I start, all of the edge will just pull that resin to my edge and onto the floor, and then it's a waste of product. Alright, we are back. It's been about 2 hours since pouring, so the resin has set up the way I want it, and you're going to see it kind of drip out. So let's get started. I'm just going to find an area that we can grab relatively easily and just kind of rip it off. There, that looks good. What I want to do here is pour it off, and the tape I'm rolling onto itself. This is just for cleanliness reasons. It's so I don't have all of that tape, the resin on the tape itself, dripping all over the place and making a mess. For those of you wondering, I am looking forward to moving into the new shop, so I don't have to find spaces like this, and I'll have more room to work and should be able to give better quality videos for you as well. So while I'm doing this, I am also looking, like right here, there's a dry spot that comes in. I want to definitely pay attention to that. And that I'm just going to kind of throw under there, okay? So same thing as before. I want one dirty hand, one relatively clean hand, and I'm just going to help get that to flow over the edge. Okay. I'm also going to bring back in my heat gun just to encourage it a little bit more. So yes, I do pay attention to where I walk, so I'm not dripping, stepping in those drips. Any tape that ripped off, I definitely want to get rid of. That's why I'm looking here. So if you remember, I started out with those 2 buckets and I moved them off the side. What I did is I just stuck my hand in those buckets just to wet my hand to start with. And those ripples should go back in. Now I can even adjust the angle here, help encourage that. Like so. That's it. So let me know what you think. Do you like it? Will you order one?